This is Fostoria, Ohio, with 3 double-track main lines, endless action. This is the Iron Triangle Railpark. Catching all the cool angles, whether it be rattling the diamonds or even under a signal bridge. Come along and explore what a day at the Iron Triangle Railpark is like. We begin our action-packed day at Fostoria a bit south of town. This is NS 9824 South, leading 3-9s at about 7 a.m. in the morning. In Fostoria now, our first glimpse of CSX will be on the Willard subdivision. CSX 3003 East leads this stack train towards Baltimore. Headed across the park to the NS side, we see a BNSF powered southbound headed towards Columbus, Ohio. Back to the Willard sub now, we see CSX I-157 roll past the C&O Diamonds. Before we go any further, I want to show you the track layout at Fostoria. In the middle is the CSX Pemberville sub, or the X Chesapeake in Ohio. On the left is the CSX Willard sub, or the X Baltimore in Ohio. And on the top right is the NS Fostoria district, or the X Nickel Plate Road. If a train is coming through Fostoria, it must pass through at least 2 double diamonds. NS 28N is next, hotshot intermodal from Chicago to Charlotte, North Carolina. As you might can tell already, the CSX Willard sub is the busiest of these 3 double-track main lines. Here we see CSX E600 making its way eastbound. "30 minutes pass and we see another CSX intermodal, this time westbound and led by CSX 3392. Continuing to stay on the CSX Willard sub, we see CSX M560 working hard with one DC Gevo in the lead. This train is a bit unique. We see CSX 143 north coming from the CSX Willard sub and onto the CSX Pemberville sub. This train most likely originated somewhere west of here and is bound for Detroit, Michigan. This angle gives us a better idea of what is happening here. This train is coming from the Willard sub, which is an east to west line. It is going on to the Pemberville sub, which is a north to south line. This move is called an interchange. Almost 11 o'clock now as we see the NS Fostoria turn making its way southbound. I am not exactly sure where this local goes, but it leaves Fostoria around 11 o'clock every day and gets back mid to late afternoon. As we stand here on the top of the caboose here on display in Fostoria, we see CSX 3177 East roll by on the Willard sub. Something to note is the SD70 Mace second out. CSX does not have very many of these. Right outside of the park, Columbus Avenue offers a very nice vantage point for southbound CSX trains on the Pemberville sub. CSX 3245 leads a manifest southbound by this location, crossing the NS Fostoria district. I had quite a few fails on this trip, but this one was by far the worst. CSX 4557 leads this eastbound domestic stacker, with the CSX 4568 OLS unit trailing. Back to Columbus Avenue now, this time for two CSX AC44s. This train's about to cross onto the Willard sub from the Pemberville sub. The Coke Express is definitely one of my favorite trains we saw on this entire trip. Here we see it led by CSX 3197. Things are about to heat up again on the Norfolk Southern side. Here's NS65D, an ethanol train powered by NS7655 and 7265. Next up will be a unit autorack train, 11E. This train is powered by two NS AC44C6Ms rebuilt from Dash 9s. Not 1 minute after 11D has passed, NS train 148 rounds the curve with a 1x1 consist. CSX I-132 with more UP power rolls north on the Pemberville sub. Here is yet another interesting catch. This train is taking the interchange between the Willard sub and the Pemberville sub just like the other trains, but this time the train is a westbound. I would assume because this train is all auto racks that this one is headed to Detroit as well. On the Pemberville sub, once again, we see our only grain train of the entire day. CSX 835 leads this international stacker toward Chicago. At the northeast side of the Railpark again, we see CSX 809 North take its train off of the Willard sub and onto the Pemberville sub. Sort of a unique find here, NS 4249 leads a rail train. Unfortunately, we thought this was a CSX train and we're at the wrong side of the rail park when it came through. This is yet another intermodal headed toward Chicago, CSX 5390 leading this one. CSX 3453 leads this westbound stacker. These westbound intermodals, both international and domestic, were extremely abundant the entire day. Most of them were heading to either North Baltimore or Chicago. Coming up quick now are two eastbound Norfolk Southerns on the Fostoria district. This is the first one, an eastbound manifest, most likely bound for Bellevue, Ohio. Not far behind the NS manifest, here's the Fostoria turn. Our last CSX westbound today comes in the form of CSX 7012 West. This is what I believe to be a loaded ethanol train, but I'm not completely sure. CSX 5230 would lead this eastbound manifest and conclude all of CSX's trains today. Our last catch of the day would be a good one. NS 9733 would lead this manifest headed westbound. Thanks for making it all the way up until this point and watching the video.